Hi, Dave.
Hello, Ian Zielinski. How are you?
I'm well. I'm surrounded by Russians.
Ian's wearing a military green T-shirt,
Yeah.
crew neck.
Yeah.
If you were dressing the military, would we just go straight deep V's and jaunty shorts?
Yeah. If I was dressing the military, everyone would be seen immediately.
Right. There they are. We keep losing every battle.
Are these liner notes they're throwing at us?
You don't think it has anything to do with these salmon blazers, do you? Yep. How you doing, buddy? I'm Dave. You're Ian, Apex Adjacent Car Podcast.
Yes, I am nearly recovered from this weekend.
Yeah.
You and I did some lemonsing.
Mm-hmm.
Lemonzing.
Yep.
And we will talk about that later. But the first thing we're going to do, also car things, is that we were sent one of these Craigslist challenges.
Right. So,
By
yes.
our good buddy Donnie.
That's right. Dr. Florida, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was the challenge was? The challenge was find the best car with a situational reason for sale on Craigslist.
Right.
So this is good because the for anyone who doesn't look at Craigslist autos while they're on work calls that they should really be paying attention to. If that is you, then you maybe aren't aware that some people get very detailed about their life in what is ostensibly a financial transaction.
Right.
And I think there's something in the back of your head whenever you're selling a car that you're like, someone's going to wonder why I'm selling such a great car.
Right.
You know, if I'm spending all this time telling you why it's so great, then why am I getting rid of it?
Exactly. Why would you want to?
Right. What's wrong with it?
Right.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with me and my life. Joke's on you. Right? So that's the impulse.
Yep.
And the Craigslist description is just like the best possible distillation of this, right? So
it turns out the mechanic special was me all along. I have a blown head gasket in my emotions.
Oh my God. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Yes.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No, you didn't. That was perfect. The mechanic special. Jesus Christ, Dave.
Why do we do a show, Ian? I think that sums it up right there. That's why we talk to each other every week.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a genius challenge from Donnie. I searched some very bizarre things in Craigslist today.
Yeah.
So I think here's what we should do. I think I want you to go first.
Okay.
And then I'll go, and then I want to see what Donnie did.
Okay. All right. So here, let me pop open a browser. Let's get this cooking. Yep. Let's see here. So I'm just gonna pop over to Craigslist real quick.
And I want to know, the one thing that I'm very curious to know is because I searched several things.
Right.
And the other catch is that there's no price thing, right? We're only going off of what's the best car with a reason in it.
Right.
I want to know, like, what was because there was definitely one for me. Was there one for you, one search term you put in where you were like, got it? You know, like before you hit enter, you were like, I know I'm going to get gold with this.
No, honestly.
No?
I think that I had a surprise result from one of my search terms that I think I will show at the end because I'm sure the ad's still up.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll get to that at the end. Remind me.
Okay.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
a little kicker. Okay. So the one that I think I had traction with was Death in the Family. Was searching for a car that was being sold because there was a death in the family.
Wow.
Okay. Because I was kind of striking out on some other stuff. So I was trying to think. Right. And that reminds me, there's two cars that we need to show at the end.
I have extras as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let me pull up mine. I think the best thing, and I have a reason of as we all do. Oh God, I just like really fucked up the formatting of that thing. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna keep Craigslist open on its own tab as it always should be, as well as the Rock Auto Repair Index Calculator.
Absolutely.
Not sponsored by Apex Adjacent. But yeah, so here it is, Ian. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. No!
Oh no!
It's been deleted by its author.
No.
Oh man.
I can see what it is though.
Yes, you can. So it was a Jaguar XK Coupe from 2007 with only like 65,000 miles on it.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
so let me go ahead and just like Jaguar XK, was it XK7?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2007.
XK 2007.
Yeah,
sorry.
there we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Good looking car. It was being sold because of a death in the family.
And it was
right?
a coupe?
And it was a coupe.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
I know, right?
Very cool.
Do you want my justification as to why I picked this one?
Yes, I would love to hear it.
Okay. All right. So I picked a Jaguar XK specifically like with a death in the family because there were some other cars that showed up with death in the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like there's obviously that like, oh, this is like a person that has passed on. This is their car, right?
Yeah.
And like a stigma that's associated with that, or kind of like it changes things, right? And, you know, I'm very atheist, like, you know, hyper atheist, but I was raised very fundamentalist Christian, right? You know, and so like I can't shake some of that muscle memory, you know, right? And like I picked the Jag out of the others with death in the family or something like that. I picked the Jag because I wanted an excuse for when all the shit kept breaking on it. That it was because it was
haunted.
Right, because there was a Corvette that was being sold because of a death in the family, right? Mm-hmm. Do I want the Corvette or do I want the Jag, right?
Yeah.
I want the Jag because of the death in the family.
Right.
And this is a lesson to always screenshot your Craigslist posts.
Yeah. Yeah. A poltergeist ruined the electronics in my Jaguar. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't me. It wasn't my bad financial decision to pick up this car.
No.
Right. It was something metaphysical.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I wanted blame.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is known for making every situation better.
Oh, definitely. Okay. So Death in the Family, that's a good one. That's a good search term.
Thank you.
I searched all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
I searched I love these cars, by the way. This is a great choice.
Thank you.
I searched for baby, but that was difficult because you get
it's my baby.
It's my baby. It was my dad's baby, whatever.
Right.
As well as we just had a baby.
Right.
There was a lot with wife. If you just search wife.
Right.
There's so many people telling you that their wife is telling them to get rid of this car.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're just like, I need the space, man.
Right. Just saying, you don't have to tell us that it's not your decision.
Right.
That's somebody offering extra information that they didn't need to offer.
No.
And relationship advice, you shouldn't say that kind of stuff outside your marriage.
Probably not. No.
No.
Especially just total strangers.
Exactly. Yeah. Let alone put it on the internet.
It's a weird impulse. Anyway, you honestly, you could do a whole subset of these just searching for quotation marks, the wife.
Oh.
Like, there were so many that had the wife. Oh, no. Not my wife.
Oh,
not
man.
Wife.
The wife is making me get rid of my Camaro.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
People are strange. But I ended up going with one, and I tried to do job, I tried to do moving, I tried to do a whole bunch of stuff, and then the one that really like that I was really like, ha ha ha, this is it. I searched just the word medical.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that got me some really good options. And so I kind of cheated. So here's my final answer. We'll start with my final answer.
Okay.
Which is this.
BMW 550i. Okay. Now let's look for, I'm going to do Control F, medical. Okay, but due to medical reasons, don't have a need to keep the car. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's a manual. It's a 6-speed.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Right.
These cars are awesome. And it doesn't have that many. It's got like super low miles.
Right.
And it's a manual.
Mm-hmm.
Medical. There was some I had a hard time choosing just between the ones that popped up for medical.
Okay. Should I hop over there and just fire in a medical?
Yeah. Just type in medical, and you get, obviously you'll get that. You'll get like a what do you call it? But there's also this Conoco gas truck.
Oh, okay. Medical issues and had to
it's awesome. House. And you could tell, I know the exact age of this person from that engine picture and how blurry it is.
Yes.
And they were like, yes, I'm putting that on the internet.
Nailed it. Yep. This is everything they'll need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
The
Okay.
truck was actually rolling when they took that picture.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right.
But that thing's super cool.
It is. It is. Yeah. Let's try your the wife search.
The wife. I bet it will return a surprising number of results.
Oh, of course, a Corvette. Yep.
There was that TT. I looked at that TT.
I happen across this TT as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And the wife will not ride in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the wife. People that call their wife the wife. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So I have some bonus options, but I want to see what Donnie had first.
Yes.
Because I also have what I think Donnie would have chosen.
Oh, okay.
Is one of my bonus options.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. So, all right. Do not open. Here comes Donnie's. It is here we go. Oh, no. It's a picture. Why is it not letting me do a picture? Here we go. Nope, that's the one I sent to mess with you earlier. Oh my God, what's happening? What's happening, Ian?
Dave and I were trading pictures of the status of our inboxes, and Dave sent me a inbox 0 picture, and I sent him a picture of my inbox, which currently has 9,554 unread emails.
Yeah.
That's with the important filter on. I just want to point that out. That's just important.
Oh, wow.
And that's my personal email. My work email is like a whole other ball of wax.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I think I have it now. Ready?
Yeah.
Chevy truck, 1976. All right.
Wow.
Okay. It's a C20, 3/4 ton version of the C10 Weekend
The
cruise.
classic.
Yep. Small block, minimal rust. I have a baby on the way.
That's what I was referring to as the classic.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which I am obviously sympathetic to. I mean, obviously I didn't follow that.
I'm sorry. What?
Well, no.
No, you're not.
This is a different situation because you cannot put a baby in this.
You cannot be sympathetic to that situation. And like you buying a Saab Turbo X wagon because you had a baby on the way and you being sympathetic to the situation, those things are mutually exclusive.
You know, me buying that Saab was a really safety conscious decision. First of all, the Swedes are known for safety. And second of all, you can't get into a car accident if your car is too broken to drive it around. That keeps your kids safe.
This
This is like my catalytic converter theft prevention. Just lower your car to the point it's nearly undrivable, and no one can steal your catalytic converter.
Oh boy. Okay.
See?
I like that, like, in my mind, it does not allow you to speak from a position of authority. In your mind, these things only allow you to speak from a position of authority.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a beautiful truck, though.
It is really nice. Yeah, that is really nice. That's a great truck. So Ian, you know, what would you rather have? Your choice or Donnie's?
I mean, honestly, I think that BMW I found is super cool.
Yeah, it is. Right?
I mean, right now in my life,
yeah,
the truck is more what I need.
Right.
And so I think he might win this round.
Yeah, I think Donnie might win this round. Yeah. Right? I have a fun car. I'm a daily driver. I don't have a truck.
I really thought you were going to stumble on that BMW.
No.
Because that has Dave written all over it.
It does. But I did not search the term medical. Ian, let me tell you some of the search terms I used.
Yeah, I want to see some of these other search terms you have.
How about prison?
Oh.
Maybe it was jail. Yep, this is it. E320 Mercedes. Title in hand. Wife is in jail. Urgently must get her out. I mean, there's other ways.
Yeah. I also love that this is a picture of him and decidedly not the car.
Right.
There is not even the whole car in it.
Right.
And he's blocking most of the part that is.
Yep. The other one, Ian, much sadder. Divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Did you look for divorce?
Well. Yeah.
And did you happen across a Lexus GS 300?
Oh, my God. No, I didn't see this. But
this,
for anyone who's not watching the YouTube, this is the lead picture. Is a guy in sunglasses and hat in the front seat of the car. Basically, the profile picture of everybody who says, but he shouldn't have resisted.
Right. He should have just done what the cop said, right?
And I mean, there's no way this is the best possible picture of him either, right?
You are correct. I feel like this is probably the leadoff on his now brand new Tinder profile.
I don't.
Ian, the pictures get better. Okay. I mean, I didn't pick it because it's a Lexus GS 300, right? And according to him, it has the inline V6, so that's great. You know, there's a paradox, right? These are just pictures from his Nest Cam. These are just his home surveillance. It looks like he got he ran a red light just to get the pictures for the Craigslist listing. Yeah,
it looks like he's presenting evidence against himself right now is what it looks like.
It does. This looks like courtroom photos. And here's the second selfie.
I mean, at least, you know,
Right.
It looks like he was trying in that one.
Uh-huh. He wanted to show off the sunroof. Yep.
But again,
Yep.
why 2 selfie pictures in the same ad?
They're in there. They're in there.
Oh, wow.
Selling due to divorce. Yep.
I mean, I'm not a family law professional. I'm not a judge.
Right. Right.
But if I were, just based on this information that I have in front of me,
Uh-huh.
I mean, she gets everything.
Yep. Yeah. He's lucky to keep the fucking sunglasses, I'll be honest with you. These fucking pictures from his Nest Cam in his house, man. Yeah. Yeah. This screenshot is something you see on an episode of Dateline. I'm Lester Holt. Tonight, a man selling his Lexus GS 300. And I'm Keith Morrison. I'm going to make everything noir and weird.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised he's not in the picture of the steering wheel, just like his head up against it. Yeah.
But also, that picture, the picture of the interior, do we think he took this picture?
I doubt it. It looks way too clean. It looks like
it's a different color car.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This is a Lexus picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Open image in new tab. Is Tin Eye still a thing?
Yeah, Google image search.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. Google.
So copy the image and then you can paste it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Then we do the paste a URL, search by image. Yep. There we go. Yep. Just a standard Lexus image.
He Googled Lexus interior and put it in his.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So there you go.
Yeah, it's a different color car.
Uh-huh. Here's what it looks like in theory.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. It's amazing.
It is. It is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. So what are some of the other backups you found?
I also tried Fired, but that ended up giving me a bunch of camper vans because it was talking about like a propane fired stove.
Oh yeah,
like that, right?
Yeah, yep.
But I have 2 other things. So I have one that I was like, when I saw it, I was like, well, this is what Donnie would pick, but
okay,
I'm not Donnie, so I'm not going to.
Right.
And that is, I have it in the talkabouts.
Okay. Let me hop over there. Yep. Okay.
And I think this one was also a baby on the way.
Okay.
Situation.
Oh, it's been deleted.
Oh, well, it was a Cobalt SS.
Okay. Oh, yes, I saw that.
Right.
Yes,
and I think
in
that was
silver, right?
Yep. Which I believe, it was because they didn't want to put the car seats in the back of it.
Yep.
And then this is what, if I allowed my inner idiot to just completely take over, this is definitely what I would choose.
The 6-cylinder Audi Allroad?
But it's a manual.
Yeah, but still you're going to be replacing turbos with your engine out service.
It's fine, but it's a manual. It's a pretty cool car.
Right.
Look how clean it is inside.
It is very nice. It is very well cared for.
Yeah.
It looks completely stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
totally.
Okay. Coil.
Oh,
kit.
and they replaced the air suspension. See?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Minor oil leak from the oil pan.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Fits right in. It fits right in.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
Okay.
What was I don't remember what it was. Oh, new baby has changed our priorities right there.
Okay. New baby.
New baby. The new baby really.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, that is at least as good a family car as a Saab Turbo X. Anyway,
right.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Donnie, you win this one.
Yep. You win, Donnie, with your C20.
Yeah, we'll get you next time. I think, I don't know. I like my 550, but that truck was super cool.
Yeah, the truck is really rad. Yeah. Yep. I mean, like at the end of the day, I'd just have a Jag and excuses. And what good does that do anyone?
Yeah. I do love those. I do love those XK coupes though.
Yeah, they're pretty boss, right?
So pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all you just have you and a ghost.
Right?
Driving around.
Yep. Just riding shoddy. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Just the radio will phase in and out every now and then. Is it Jaguar? Is it a poltergeist? We'll never know.
Right. The previous owner keeps putting fucking Lawrence Welk on the radio, and you're like, God damn it, stop it.
We've already listened to Billie Jean 3 times.
Right. Cut it out.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Ian,
should we talk about the car things that we did this weekend?
we should. Let's talk.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because it's just going to be you and I.
Yeah.
Just going to be you and I.
So this last weekend was the BFE GP at High Plains Raceway.
Yes, a Lemon sanctioned race, right?
Yep, here in Colorado. Could not tell you who won or who did well because your boy and I here, we were busy. We were busy. Yep. We were very busy.
Yep.
We were very busy.
So, so let's backtrack.
Yes.
This is the team that you raced a 24-hour race with, right?
Yes. We won the index of affluency at the 24 hours at the 24-hour race back in September.
Because they were amazed your car kept running.
Yes, correct. And it was, I mean, to be very clear, barely running the second day. I mean, it was wow on its last legs for the last, I'm going to say, I don't know, 8 hours or so, 10 hours maybe.
Okay.
But we made it through and we actually did fairly well in that race. And then, so we knew this race was coming up and I was going to drive with them again. And they put me in charge of the technology piece because we had they bought some really cool stuff to be able to do streaming video and telemetry and stuff from the car, which is pretty rad. And so I spent probably the week prior to the race kind of getting that stuff as dialed as I could.
Right.
And then a couple days before the race, and I hadn't heard much from them. And so I was just kind of assumed oh, well, I'm doing this part.
They're doing their parts.
We'll meet up a couple days before the race and we'll just smash it all together and we're good.
Right.
So Thursday, so the race was on Saturday.
Right.
Thursday,
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So Thursday I went up to the shop and the engine was not in the car.
Right.
And then Friday.
Well, you stayed there until pretty late Thursday, right?
Honestly, cannot remember. I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I did stay there late Thursday night. And then I went back on Friday, and Friday the engine was in the car but not running.
Right. It was backfiring like crazy.
Yeah, so I went there Friday morning.
Right, and I showed up a little bit later than you.
Yeah, so I got there 9:30 or 10 or something like that on Friday morning. And it wasn't even running at all. They hadn't even gotten it started at that point. And then we got it, me and the team owner's dad got it kind of sort of running, but backfiring really bad. It sounded like it had a really bad timing issue. And this kind of set the stage for the rest of the weekend where we were chasing this odd timing issue. Just the whole thing. It has a Vortec V8. It's a Chevy S10 with a Vortec V8 in it.
Right.
And from a 90s era Suburban, basically. So, or Yukon. So we got it sort of running, but we had tech at 4 p.m. on Friday.
Right.
So basically we had to stop working on it.
Push it onto the trailer.
to get it into the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
to get it through tech at 4. So we had until like basically a drop dead was we had to be out of there by like 2:15,
Yeah.
to make it to the track on time. So we got it on the trailer. I went to my son's birthday party
Right.
where he, by the way, dominated all of his friends on the go-kart track. Amazing.
Hashtag proud dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All the other parents were like, wow, he's really fast. I was like, oh, is he? Oh.
Oh, I didn't notice. Is he?
Mm-hmm.
He must just be incredibly naturally talented from
Yeah.
the genes.
Yeah. Definitely not me coaching him. Anyway, so we got the.
I went to the track. Brian and I went to the track. The team.
That's right. You went. Were you there for tech?
Yes. Yes.
We never talked about this. How did tech go?
I mean, fine.
Did
Because
they ask if it ran?
kind of like we pushed it through. They know Brian. They know the truck. This truck has a long history, so it's got a great roll cage. There's some new exhaust rules that we need to meet, where the pipes actually have to exit, past the side of the vehicle, not just vaguely underneath it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. But they were kind of waving people on that one and saying, next race it has to be like this. But yeah, so that was fine. We pushed it and took it back to the pit area, like our paddock area. And this is where I made the decision to stay and help work on the truck to get it ready for the 9 a.m., 10 a.m. green
10 a.m.
flag the next day.
Yeah.
10 a.m. green flag the next day. So being that it was backfiring, the idea was to just completely disassemble the front end of the truck and get down to the timing chain. So you're
right. We thought that maybe that the cam gear was off a tooth. Basically.
Right.
Was kind of what we were thinking.
Right.
At that point. Yeah.
Right. So I started disassembling. We got it down to the timing, and much Googling ensued what the correct timing was. Right.
And it turned out it was correct the whole time, right?
It was correct. Yep.
Mechanically, it was the timing was correct.
Yes.
So we got it back to. So then I showed up at like 7:30 or 8 that night.
Yeah.
8 o'clock or something.
I think. And I left maybe like 9, 10?
About 9 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Pretty shortly after I got there, I think.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying all night and working on it until like 5:30 in the morning, when I was looking at 3 spark plugs that still needed to be put in the ground in the truck. And my impulse was to pick up the spark plugs and throw them as far as I could. And I was like, I need to go get some.
Yes. Right. Yeah. The idea was that you were going to go, but you were going to work on the truck for a while. You were going to go back home. I was going to pick you up in the morning at like 5:30 or something like that. Something very early. And I woke up at 2 a.m. to pee because I'm an old man. And I saw a text on my phone from you at 12:37 at night that said, I have made a very you worded it very well. Let me see.
I think I referred to it as an ill-advised as an ill-advised choice.
It says, in a very ill-advised move, I'm going to stay the night at the track. I didn't respond because I didn't know if by the time I received it you had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was still up and working on the truck again until 5:30. I got a couple hours and then woke up on Saturday. We got the truck running, and I will say, so I have said many times on the show that I am not a good mechanic.
You're the driver. I'm the wrencher.
I did a lot of stuff on this truck that I was pretty far outside my comfort zone, and it showed. Everything I put together leaked. Every single thing I touched leaked.
You did
replace
the water pump.
Yeah, I put the water pump on that
Missed
leaked,
a gasket.
was fine. No, I didn't miss a gasket.
No? Okay. Because there was a gasket laying there.
Was there?
Uh-huh.
Did I not put a gasket on?
Mm-hmm. Ian, it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. Well, of course.
No, I know I put a gasket on.
Yeah, maybe you grabbed a fresh one. There was a water pump gasket sitting around when I
there was old one. The old ones.
Okay,
were
gotcha.
But I know I did put it did leak. I will say the hoses that I put on the radiator, those leaked. I will say the timing cover on this thing. It's a real son of a bitch.
First of all, if you get the cheap one, it's plastic. Don't do that.
This thing sucks. The timing cover on this thing, man, if you take the timing cover off, you basically have to drop the oil pan because the timing cover and the oil pan share a gasket, and you can't get the timing cover into the gasket and sealed without like dropping the pan and then doing it.
Okay.
So taking it off is not hard.
Right.
Putting it back on, because that gasket, that blue gasket at the bottom of the timing assembly there, that seats into the timing cover. There's a slot, so you have to like put it in like this and then slap it up, but it doesn't fit. You can't put it in at like a really big angle there because it hits this cross member here.
Okay.
Which is probably because it's in S10 and not in a Yukon where you had all the space in the world, right?
Right.
Anyway, it sucks. And I think on Saturday night, to fix my leaky ass timing cover, they ended up having to jack the engine up, pull the engine up out of the car,
right,
to drop the pan far enough to get it seated.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
Getting ahead of ourselves. So
we are.
So Friday I stayed all night after Dave had worked on it for a ton of time.
Right.
We got it. They got it running at 9:50. Green flag was at 10.
Right.
And it was like I don't know what time we finally got it. It was like noon before we got on track.
Right.
So we got on track about noon and ran all day with varying success. Like there was lots of trips back into the pits for, again, just like weird running issues. And, I think we had some brake issues. We had some other things going on. So it wasn't a super successful day. Basically, we spent so much time in the pits and I was supposed to go last. I didn't get to drive.
Right.
So then the idea was that I was going to take the first stint on Sunday.
Right. Where I would pick you up in the morning. You left your car at the track. We drove home together on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was beat. And also, I just want to take a second, not talking about racing specifically, but if you're going to do racing and you're going to have racing bullshit happen to you, like all of this, you want a Dave, right? You want a Mr. Dave, because what Mr. Dave did was when he saw that text at 2:00 in the morning, he was like, oh man, that sucks. And he packed me a change of clothes. He packed me a change of clothes and brought it to the track, which was very, very thoughtful and sweet of him.
Well, no problem. I mean, you got to keep the boys fresh. You got to have you and I are very much the same in that, like, a fresh pair of socks just changes the situation for the better.
A fresh pair of socks is exactly the same as a fresh pair of windshield wipers. Like,
yes.
It's just a clean windshield wipe. Oh,
right.
Mwah.
Right.
Just the best feeling. Yeah.
And I drove Luther, so we would be riding in comfort.
Oh, and we were. And I struggled to stay awake that entire...
You hit a wall close to the end. I thought you were going to doze off. Yeah.
Oh, man, I was tired. Anyway, so Sunday.
Well, real quick, I do want to say about Saturday that one thing that did happen was I recognized the truck's potential to turn in good times. Because when Brian was at the helm and it was running well, he was throwing down 220 something laps.
Yeah, low 220s, like 223,
very consistently.
Which is basically what I run in my car.
Right.
Which is not, I mean, it's not crazy fast, but that's a good solid lap time.
Yeah, you have nerve endings into your R32, and you know high planes left and right. So like you can't find like a more consistent lapper than like you in that car on that track, right? You're gonna put down like a 221 every single time,
right?
You know,
but yeah. So I mean, like a low 220s. That's not far off of what we were running in September when it was running well.
Right.
You know, we were kind of in that range then. We had, you know, our like pro drive. We had a pro driver on the team, and he was, I think he may have broken 220.
I think he was down into the 210s and maybe lower. Yeah.
No, it wasn't much. He was probably 4 or 5 seconds faster than Brian, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Not a crazy amount. But yeah, it was like it would like briefly run well,
right? And we could see its potential.
Yes, and then it really degraded again during the last stint. It felt like on Saturday, and so then the idea was, okay, they're gonna fix the leaks. They eventually got black flagged
for oil leaks. Yep,
for the oil leak, which was, to be fair, horrendous.
After each stint, we were putting in somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 liters of oil.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was probably
we did 4 quarts of oil after the first one.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Then every now and then it'd be 2.5.
Right.
But the first one was 4.
Yeah, we got better miles per gallon on the fuel than we did on the oil. Essentially,
yes. Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Again, we're gonna find out who put that oil pan on and
give them a demerit.
Anyway, so the idea was Saturday night we're gonna fix the leaks and then we should be good, right? Like, should be good to go. So Sunday, I go home. Like, we kind of like helps get stuff buttoned up on Saturday night, and then we leave.
Right.
Get some sleep.
Not much. I think I only got 3.5 hours, something like that. And
yeah,
it was shitty sleep.
It wasn't a lot
because we're turning over like how to fix this thing.
So then, and all the while, like we get these weird. We still had these weird intermittent timing issues, right? Where the truck would just run shitty. Sunday we show up at we got to the track by Dave picked me up early, and we got to the track by like
6:45.
Yeah, 6:45, and green flag was at 9, so we had some time to like get through stuff. And
the truck was up on jack stands when we got there. Yeah,
the truck was on jack stands. There was one person awake working on it, and I don't remember. I think he was just like buttoning stuff up in the engine bay, right? Like,
right.
There wasn't much to do in the engine bay, and so Dave and I were like, well, let's kind of do a once over, do some checks, see how we're doing.
Tell them about the oil.
So the oil situation was so bad. It was so disgusting under there.
Because we ran for like 8 hours.
Right.
Leaking oil.
Yeah. And the oil was just everywhere. It was so disgusting. I've never seen a car this gross before. Like, you know, anyone who's had a bad oil leak knows, like, it gets, you know, it hits things that rotate and gets flung everywhere, and it just covers everything. I mean, just the whole underside of the truck, and it's a truck, so it just creates those vortices off the back. Right. So like the whole back of the truck was covered in oil. It was gross.
Yeah. Every time it came in, we would have to clean oil off of the windshield, and not like a little bit, like 4, 5, 8 passes with glass cleaner and paper towels to finally get all the oil off of it.
Yes, it was not good.
Yeah.
So what happened was, what would you ostensibly working on.
So you and I were cleaning oil. Like we were cleaning oil because oil was coating the inside of the wheels. It was
Right.
coating the brakes.
Right. I had it in my head that I can't remember what we were looking at something else, and I saw the brake rotor had a ring of oil around it.
Right.
And I don't remember what we were looking at to begin with. But,
The oil filter kit.
oh, that's right. The oil
Right.
filter. We were worried that was leaking, or no, it needed an oil filter.
Right. And
I had
you
to
had
put the
put it on loose. I had to turn it about 2 more times from where you put it on.
Really?
Probably not 2 full turns, like maybe almost 1 full turn.
Anyway.
No.
So,
No, here's the reason. Because everything was gross and you couldn't get a good grip on it.
yeah.
Yeah. And also
Let's go with
it was a dead person's car, so like yeah. No. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was putting the oil filter on. That's right. I was putting the oil filter on, and they had relocated it. There was a relocation kit that had happened, which is a whole other story. And then, and so while I was doing it, I could see the brake rotor, and the brake rotor had, like I said, just a ring of oil around it. And I, again, not a mechanic, obviously, since I can't even install a fucking oil filter properly.
It was greasy as shit.
But I know that oil is slippery, and you don't want your brakes to be slippery. So I was like, oh, I should clean off the brake rotor. So I got out the thing and I took off the wheel.
Right.
And do you have the picture?
I do. And Ian found this.
Yeah. A very cracked brake rotor.
Yeah.
Like
big
a
crack.
very cracked brake rotor.
Big crack.
That crack goes all the way through that part of that disc.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, knowing that I'm the first person in the truck, I was like, I'm not driving this. Like, I can't drive this.
Ian, tell people what would happen if you drove with a brake rotor with cracks in it like that.
I mean, it would get hot and it would explode. Like, it would just disintegrate and maybe take the wheel with it.
Yeah. Potentially up through the footwell.
It'd be bad. It's not a good situation.
Right.
I mean, up through the footwell would be very dramatic and probably not that likely, but taking the wheel with it, I mean, or taking the hub, that's
and you losing control of a vehicle that at some points was going 98 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah. That's not good. So, we were like, okay, well, let's put the spare up. They didn't have a spare. And these are Corvette C5 brakes, and it's a Sunday. So we basically had to, Dave and I played parts detective and found one in the north of Denver and dispatched one of the team members to go get it. And so while that was happening, while they were driving out, we realized, like, at this point, we're probably not going to make green flag, because green flag is like an hour and a half.
Right.
And it's a 2+ hour round trip to go get this brake rotor. So we were like, okay, well, what else? What else can
we do? Because we're buttoning the truck up.
In our mind, the engine is checked, right? The engine is. We could check that off the list. Like, we've spent 72 hours getting this engine nailed, and all we needed to do was fix some leaks. So that's good.
Right.
So let's turn our attention to everything that we've not been able to do because we've been spending a lot of time on the engine.
Right.
And so I just started just checking suspension components. And Joe, kind of the chief mechanic on the team, like, he found some stuff that was loose up at the front. Mm-hmm. Brian and I had found the day before, had found like a subframe bolt that was like loose, like hand loose. Mm-hmm. I found like a shock that was just attached with hopes and dreams. So there was some stuff that, like, needed to get dialed.
Right.
We got super lucky that we found a set of front rotors. We got them back pretty quickly. I mean, he was there by he rolled in right after green flag, I think, right?
Yeah,
Like
Diego got there pretty quick.
he did great. And then, everybody kind of pitched in and checked everything on the truck, and everything felt like, okay, we're gonna make it. When I saw the cracked rotor and realized we didn't have a spare, I thought that was it. I thought we were done.
Right,
I was
right.
like, there's no way we're gonna find one of these. We're done. But at this point, I'm now feeling very hopeful again. I'm getting dressed,
Right, right.
getting
Yeah,
ready.
yeah, you're putting your suit on. Yep.
Got my suit on.
Yep. I'm taking my mechanic coveralls off, right? Because
Yep.
it starts cooking out there too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and so at this point it's what, like 11 o'clock maybe.
Yeah.
10:30,
somewhere-
11
Yeah,
o'clock.
10:30
So,
maybe, yeah.
We've missed some running, but we still have like a full day of racing ahead of us. And so I get in the truck. It's train day. I give Dave the training on all the technology stuff to do the live stream that we've, with a lot of hubris, thought we were gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get in the truck. I get it to pit out, and the guy said, I don't think I told you this. He said, "Hey, this thing sounded pretty good."
Oh no.
Yeah, he said that to me as I showed him my wristband, and he checked my Hans and all that. He was like, "Hey, this thing's sounded really good," like, because the workers all know that truck and
Right.
know what a pilot usually is. And he was right. At that point, it sounded the best it sounded,
Right.
know. And hey, bonus, all the suspension components were connected, So like I was feeling like, hey, this is my best shot at like maybe getting some good racing in.
Right.
So high plains, you pit out along the outside edge of turn 2. Turn 3 is the entrance onto the main straight. And I was also like, we had changed brakes, so like I was kind of trying to bed brakes on pit out, which if you've ever done that is like a little nerve wracking. But like I was on the pit out road, like not going super fast because I was also slamming on the brakes and then trying to get some heat in the brakes. So I didn't really get to go full tilt until I got to the apex of turn 3, where I put my foot down, got a kick, and then fucking nothing. Like just dropped. Like no power whatsoever. Just nothing. And I was like, guys, it died on me. Like it's dying. And it was like, it was pretty clear, like an ignition issue. Like it just like said, no, no spark for you. No. And for anyone who doesn't know, these Vortec V8s are, and I'm sure Donnie's going to correct a bunch of shit that I'm about to say, but it's like it's got a distributor,
right,
but also an ECU.
Right.
So it's weird.
Right. It's not like it's not fully electronic ignition. There's still a cap and a rotor.
But it's not fully mechanical either.
Right.
It's both and neither.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. But basically, we spent all day chasing this timing issue.
Yeah.
And like reclocking the distributor 100 times and swapping ECUs, reflashing ECUs.
Yep.
Owing out wires. Like that was my thing. I was like, well, if we think maybe it's the crank position sensor, maybe it's just the wire, maybe it's just the signal wire.
Right.
I mean, we were trying fucking everything. And it turned out what the issue was, we figured out, I think we finally figured, the race lasted until 3. We finally figured out what the issue was at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, around then.
And so that first lap, I made it to turn 8 where there's a bailout road and you can get back to the pits. I did literally half a lap.
Right.
That first lap in the morning. And I think I did a cumulative throughout the whole day, maybe 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 or 7. Yeah.
And
in trying to get it back out there.
Yeah, and we did take the checkered flag.
Right.
I
Because
took
we
it.
sent you out for a lap right at the end.
I took the parade lap just to give you an idea of how poorly this is running. This is a V8 that should be making, I don't know, 250 horsepower at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Uh, I took the parade lap after the checkered flag at full throttle.
Without you were passing anybody.
Oh no, I was
Right.
holding people up on the
Uh-huh.
parade lap at full throttle. So what it ended up being was the crank position sensor, which
Yes.
is like an optical thing that
Magnetic.
magnetic. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's not optical. Okay, so like it was basically the whole housing was separating from the block and not close enough to get a good reading, and so the ECU was like advancing timing, retarding timing, advancing timing, like just going all over the place
Right.
because it was getting strange readings from the crank position sensor.
Right. Right. It also, I do like, I've thought a lot about this, right? That like, that you do have to be careful with camshaft position sensors. And I know Donnie will correct us if we're wrong. I do think that you need to be careful handling crankshaft position sensors as well. You're not supposed to drop them on concrete, anything like that, because the magnetic sensor can get wacky, right?
Yeah.
But what you're saying with like the timing cover not being quite right, maybe like a whole bunch of RTV kind of like moving where the timing cover would normally sit, and where and that crank position sensor goes into that timing cover, right? Like
It does? I thought it went underneath. I thought it
nope,
went in the paint.
it goes into that. It goes into that. So on that timing cover at the bottom, there's the hole for the crank position sensor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the a metal insert for the screw that holds the bracket for the crankshaft position sensor on.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
So like the only reason that I remember this is because there is that metal insert into plastic that holds that sensor in. Right. And so, I mean, as you can imagine, like that's not the most secure thing, a metal insert, and the metal insert isn't even like molded into the plastic. It's one of those split metal inserts that as you insert the screw, it just widens a little bit, and that's what holds it into the plastic. Right. Yeah.
Janky.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's possible through all the work that was done that the crankshaft position sensor could have swung and hit something and damaged it. It was definitely off because like Brian was holding it in as hard as he could with his hand and the truck would run okay.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And pushing it in. So we tried to like apply force with all kinds of different methods. And in the end, it wasn't enough. And more than likely it was because either the sensor was damaged or there was so much RTV holding that cover on that it was out of place and
moving.
It just wouldn't let the sensor be in the right place to begin with.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. So you didn't get to race.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
Not at all, Ian. You didn't get to race.
I got to manage a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
To say like go around me that way. But that was about it.
Yeah.
So that was a real bummer.
It was.
It was a lot of work for
And money.
for not a lot. Yeah, for not a lot of racing. But yeah, that's what racing happens. You know, that's what happens with racing sometimes. So
That's our 24 hours of Lemon's most recent experience.
bad weekend.
Yep.
Bad weekend.
Yeah. Ian, would it surprise you that this was the first ever American car I've ever worked on?
That can't be true.
It is true.
Really?
I've only worked on a handful of cars, Ian. Like I think I'm very mechanical, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
But I've only worked on a few. I've worked on Saabs, right?
Yeah.
I worked on a little bit on a Toyota Camry, a Honda Civic, Nissan pickup trucks. And I didn't even really do much on those. I never really like got mechanical until I got my first Saab. Like,
So what do you think? What's your
I think it is that thing of like the plastic timing cover being an issue, I think that with like the high parts availability, like let's say, so the Rock Auto Repair Index calculator, let's get back to that, right? For something like this, the cost is going to be super low, right?
Yeah.
But that's because there's tons of parts that are not really the part you want to buy, but they come in at a crazy low price point, right? Like you can get a plastic timing cover, right? It's fine that the intake manifold's plastic. They have that nailed down now, right? Like they're all plastic these days, right?
Yeah.
The Fiat has one, and that was 2012, right? But like, yeah, like I think there's so many opportunities for like just things to just be subpar when it comes to the parts that it's not good. Like if you build it and build it, right? I think it'll work great. And I don't mind the way that this was laid out or put together. It was easy to get the front of the truck off.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So I didn't have a problem with that. I definitely had a problem with the weird mix of mechanical and electrical ignition. I'd rather just have straight up coil packs and call it a day.
Right.
Or just straight mechanical ignition and no ECU. And maybe that just comes from my inexperience with it, right? Where I'd just rather walk into like one situation or the other instead of this kind of hybrid thing, right?
Right. Well, it is really strange too.
Because we never got a crankshaft position code on the ECU. It never threw a code.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That's the first fucking code it should have thrown.
This is what's so baffling to me about car electronics is like the diagnostics are fucking garbage compared to like what we do for a living.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's usually, even if they're cryptic, there's some breadcrumb you can follow.
Right.
And here, because it exists in both like a mechanical, physical, physics world, but also electronics world, like the two don't always match up in a logical way. We were figuring out that like, oh, we found plugs that were indicative of a very rich situation. But if we looked at the AFR, it was very lean. It was running very lean. Right. And it's because the ECU didn't know what was happening. So it was retarding timing because it was like, oh, it's crazy lean or the timing's wrong. So what does it do? It pulls timing, it pulls spark, and you end up with a couple of cycles where you have super rich cylinders.
Right.
And so you can't, if you only had one of those pieces of information, right? If you just pulled that spark plug, you'd be like, oh, it's too rich.
Right.
And you'd be completely wrong.
Right. Correct.
Or, oh, well, we need to advance the timing way far.
Right.
Like that's the other thing you would do. But if you only had the information from the ECU,
right,
you would retard the timing on the mechanical side. Like it's crazy to have the two systems together at the same time.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
No.
Anyway.
No.
It was a weekend.
It was a weekend, man.
Yeah.
Not a weekend I want to do again. Like, I think it's like how I found my autocross home. I think that what happened over the weekend is helping me find my racing and wrenching home, right? Kind of where I see myself fitting in, how I see myself fitting in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I will say I do enjoy like trouble. I mean, obviously, I like troubleshooting.
Do you like racing in a competitive race more than troubleshooting?
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. Right?
Yeah.
Just because you like troubleshooting, as do I, just because I like wrenching doesn't mean that I'm going to pick it over supporting a competitive car.
No, I didn't want to make it seem like I didn't find any joy at all.
Right.
It was
right.
There was and
the people are great. Absolutely great.
The people were great, and I got to dick around with my little science project of the live stream, which we didn't really get much use out of.
I got to run a cylinder leak down test for the first time ever. I've never done
that
before.
was pretty cool.
Yep.
I installed a bunch of stuff that leaked.
Hey, yep. We cleaned a bunch of oil.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is an oil crisis going on, so we were putting a lot back into the ground.
That's
Right?
true.
The problem is people are taking too much out. We're putting it back for them.
See, it's public service we're running here.
Uh-huh.
I did. I mean, I was in the truck for a long time.
Yeah, you
I
were.
mean,
You
the
sat there a
ratio,
lot.
yeah, because it was like, it was one of those things where like, oh, it's imminent that we're getting back on the track because we've got it. We've got it
Right.
this time,
Right.
and we didn't got it.
We didn't got it.
No, and every time I went out, it would idle fine in the pit, and it'd be fine on the pit out, and then as soon as I get out of the truck, like too far to turn around, it would just boom.
Yep.
Oh, and then of course, and then the brakes never bedded in because I couldn't
Yeah,
get
you
enough
couldn't.
speed up to get them hot.
Right.
So I also had no brakes.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and like so finally, the end of the day, it's like, it's like 2:20 or something or 2:30, and they sent me back out, and they're like, okay, we think maybe it's better now. I made it one lap. I got like my out lap was good.
Uh-huh.
And then as soon as I got back on the main straight for my first flying lap, boom, again. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if this is like hospice racing. Like I'm
Right. Every lap is gravy.
right. I'm staying out. Like I called in. I asked. I was like, can I just drive this thing
Right.
until it falls over?
Right.
And they were like, yes, please go for it.
Yeah.
Because I think they all felt all felt bad that I ended up getting screwed. And but then by like the second lap, it was fucking undrivable. It was like I couldn't. This is a big V8. I couldn't get it past 3,000 RPM on the main straight
Right.
with my foot welded to the floor.
Right.
And there was no throttle position where it was happy. I tried
You had time. You had time.
and yeah, I was like, well, fuck it. Maybe it wants quarter throttle.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Didn't like that either. Like
Yeah.
I tried everything.
Yeah. Holding one pinky out.
Yeah.
Holding two fingers out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then by the final lap, I didn't have fourth gear anymore.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with that.
It was already weak. Like you had to be very patient and then hold it in, which is
Okay.
fine, but like it was just like another thing to manage.
Right. Right.
And then there's just people just fucking flying past
Yeah.
me.
The speed differentials were frightening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing I was doing 50 miles an hour on the main straight. Maybe.
Maybe.
It was not good.
No. I'm glad
No.
you're safe.
Yeah. Not my favorite race car experience I've ever had.
So we need some time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Some time and some whiskey, and I'll
Yeah.
be fine. I'll be fine.
Right?
I'll be fine. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
Dave,
Yeah. Hate to end
What-
on a down note.
do you have any other thoughts?
I mean, there's a lot of things learned. I'm still processing a lot of stuff. Yeah.
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 Me too.
I love being in a paddock with you. You and I make a good team. We communicate well. We bounce stuff off each other very well.
Definitely.
We work well together.
We've got jokes. You go back and check the things that I've tightened
Uh-huh.
to make sure that I've actually tightened them,
Uh-huh.
which is don't tell everybody. It's
Yeah, no,
very sweet.
You had other stuff to worry about.
It's very sweet.
You had bigger fish to fry.
Yes, but yes, I think I cannot imagine having had that weekend without my very good friend there, because that would have been a lot.
Same.
Right.
Yeah, that would have just straight sucked.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So it was very nice to have a known friendly face around. So
Yeah.
I very much appreciate that. Thank you, Dave.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah. Even if it was hard to tell if it was me because I had like an inch of sunblock on.
Well, yeah, that was the. There was at one point in the weekend where you did look like powder.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dave, if people enjoyed listening to us complain about our weekend at the racetrack,
Yeah.
what should they do?
You know, they should send us vanity plates. 720-515-1391.
Yep. You
Right?
can also email us,
Yep.
the Apex Adjacent at Gmail.
Yeah.
We're on the Twitter,
Yeah.
the places.
Find something on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and issue some kind of parameters to a challenge to us to find a vehicle that we like better.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Take a screenshot of it, as we will do from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, everyone. We love you. Goodbye.